Every Saturday, I used to go and stand in front of this store and stop people coming in and out and give them a brief introduction to Islam. And I kept doing this for a while and no one ever became Muslim. Then I learned one rule and 5 people a day would become Muslim. We're talking about the golden rule. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الأمين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. In general, we say in da'wah there are no hard and fast rules, but there are 2 that we're going to insist upon. We're going to do one of them this episode. We're talking about the golden rule, which is go for the gold, which means ask for the Shahadah. I used to stand in front of that store and give people a brief introduction to Islam. And then when I'm done with my speech, because it's prepared and memorized and everything, when I'm done, I would stare at them and they would stare back at me. And there would be this awkward, weird silence. I didn't know what to do until I learned the golden rule. You absolutely, 100% have to ask for the Shahadah. Because if you don't ask for the Shahadah, then why are you even talking to them about Islam? Let me tell you exactly what this looks like, alright? Suppose you're talking to someone and you invite him to your home. Tell him, okay, I want to invite you to my house. You're going to love my house. And you start describing it. As you're walking to your house, to your doorstep, you describe, my house is beautiful, you're going to like the chandeliers, you're going to like this, I've got this kind of sofa, blah, blah, blah. Talking about your house and why you should come to my house and why you will love my house. Then when you get to the door, it was very nice talking to you, thank you very much. And you don't let him in. You close the door in his face. Isn't that a weird invitation? Many du'at do the same thing. Let's look at it one more time. This time we're going to change the words around. I'm going to invite you to Islam. You're going to love Islam. It's the best thing for you. You need to become Muslim. And you're talking him all the way to the doorstep of Islam. And you convince him, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. And then you slam the door in his face. You don't ask him to come in and become Muslim. You understand why it doesn't make sense to not ask for the Shahadah? You absolutely, 100% have to ask for the Shahadah. If you don't, what are you doing? What are you? You're just some strange guy who brings people to the doorstep and then slams the door in their face. Why do you do this? What are you in it for? You have to ask for the Shahadah. Can you think of one time the Prophet ﷺ went to a group of people to call them to Islam and got there and didn't call them to Islam? It doesn't make any sense. You have to ask for the Shahadah. Let's look at it in another way. Let's look at the world of sales. With sales, they examined why a sale will not go through. Why didn't this customer commit to purchasing this product? And they found that the majority of time, actually 96% of the time, the salesperson did not ask for the sale. 96% of the time? Okay, what's in the other 4%? The other 4% has the other 1,001 different excuses why you don't buy something. It was the wrong size, it was the wrong color, I had cash, they accepted credit cards. Thousands of answers all crammed into 4%. 96% of the time the salesperson didn't ask for the sale. Okay, one more time. If you're not convinced, look at it this way. Imagine you own a car dealership, okay? One more time. You own a car dealership. And you want your employees, your salespeople to sell those cars. The customer comes to one of your salesmen and he says, I'm really interested in this car. I like it. And your salesman convinces them, yes, this car is excellent, and shows them all the options, and the guy is convinced and he's convinced, but then he takes him out for a test drive and everything. And then when they come back from the test drive, he shakes his hand, it was really nice talking to you and I enjoyed it, and he lets him go. He doesn't ask him for the sale. What would you do to that salesperson? Fired. He's fired. You'd fire him immediately. Because what are you doing? You're convincing them, you're not even asking for the sale. Don't be that da'iyah who convinces people, talks to them, spends hours, and then doesn't ask for the sale. It's bad enough that not only do we have du'at who don't ask for the Shahadah, we have people who stop people from taking the Shahadah. And this has happened multiple times, where someone's about to take the Shahada, and then a Muslim will jump in and stop them. No, they're not ready yet, leave them alone. Ready for what? And who are you? And what kind of vision do you have that can tell you? You have Shahadah vision? Or how do you know this person's not ready? One of my friends said, I walked into the masjid to pray, and a non-Muslim stopped me and said, I want to become Muslim. I said, say after me. Ashhadu. I was ready. What? I'm ready. Anytime. And he said an uncle came and interrupted us. Stop. He's not ready. Let him take his time, go home, think this over. And the guy left, and I've never seen him again. Why? So you have to ask for the Shahadah. It doesn't make sense to bring people to the doorstep. Now, okay, when do we ask for the Shahadah? When do you ask for the Shahadah? Is it like you just bump into a person and ask him to become Muslim? You ask for the Shahadah. When you got the person to be convinced, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah, you explain the 5 pillars, no issues. Any questions, no problems. Anything to stop you from becoming Muslim, no problems. Then what's your next step? Logically, say La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. Or otherwise what? Why'd you bring him to the doorstep? To slam the door in his face? You got him there, ask him to become Muslim. None of this romantic nonsense of he's not ready and until he feels it. Feel what? You need to feel the urgency here, and this person needs to take the Shahada. That's the key point. That is the golden rule. The difference between effectiveness. And let me take a moment to explain the difference between an effective da'iyah and a successful da'iyah. A successful da'iyah is one that brings people to Islam, to Allah, and follows up with them and builds them up until they're able to stand on their own 2 feet and join the community. An effective da'iyah doesn't do that. He just gets them to take the Shahada, and that's the end of it. So he can effect change quickly, but he's not successful, he doesn't follow up with them. So I'm not talking about success now, but I'm talking just in effectiveness, the difference in da'wah. Before learning this rule and after this rule, spending weeks on end with nothing happen. Actually, not weeks. Honestly, it's a lifetime without a single Shahada. And after learning this rule, 5 a day. Look, I always tell this to people. And as a matter of fact, I just said this to someone yesterday. I said, when you do da'wah, as far as the process, when you do it the proper way, getting a Shahada, you will realize it's one of the easiest things in the world, inshallah. Again, I used to teach the da'wah workshop for 9 years. And I would say this, and people would think I'm just hyperbolizing and just exaggerating. And then the next day, we take them out into the streets, and someone who is zero da'wah experience in his life will get 2 shahadas. So that means it is easy to get a shahada. Because selling, if I can use that term, selling Islam to someone is easy because it's a strong, logical religion with no mistakes, it's perfect. The real challenge is the follow-up that comes later on. But what I'm trying to tell you is that if someone says, yeah, I got 10 shahadas a day, and I know within certain circles, if you hear that, you're like, yeah, and what's the news, basically? Yeah, I know what you're thinking. I haven't gotten a single shahada maybe, or some are thinking, 10 a day? Yeah, 10 a day is doable. It's no big deal. The big deal is, can I handle 10 a day? But our point in this episode is to sell you on the golden rule. You have to ask for the Shahada. And if you don't ask for the Shahada, what are you doing? And has the Prophet ﷺ ever wanted someone to become Muslim and not ask them for the Shahada? And in sales, you have to ask for the sale. This is what it's about. This is why you have to absolutely ask someone to become Muslim. So this rule then takes us to another one very closely related to it. Suppose I ask someone for the Shahada. Again, this is someone that I brought to the doorstep of Islam. La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, 5 pillars, everything makes sense to him, no objections, no problems. Because what are the prerequisites to saying La ilaha illallah? It's really simple. Removal of shirk and affirming Allah's tawheed, Allah's oneness. It's that simple. It's exactly like the kalima, the Shahada. When you say La ilaha, negating and affirming except Allah. So it's the same procedure. Why am I saying this? I've met du'at who will say, if somebody has a girlfriend, I won't let him become Muslim. I won't give him the Shahada. What kind of nonsense is this? So basically you tell him, oh, you want to become Muslim? You want to submit to Allah? I won't let you do it because you have to go break up with your girlfriend. I'll wait for you. Go do it. How long have you been seeing her? 2 weeks? You can do a phone breakup. Here you go. Call her. Doesn't make sense. The prerequisites to becoming Muslim, removing shirk, affirming tawheed, you can become Muslim. So if someone has a girlfriend, yeah, it's not like we're going to tell them it's okay. We're going to tell them you either marry her or, eventually you need to break this off. But we're not going to give them a fatwa that it's all right. Someone has a dog. Man, some people go overboard. Someone has a dog. No, get rid of your dog first. No, don't get rid of the dog first. Become Muslim first. You're a Muslim who has a dog, and you're on your way of getting rid of it, yeah, but rather than being a non-Muslim with a dog. So we said the golden rule leads to that. And now, if I ask someone to become Muslim, what if they say no? Perfect. There's still something I can do. They say no. Your next step is to find out why. And the easiest way to do it is to ask why. It's really that simple. Some people start asking other indirect questions. Why are you beating about the bushes? They say, just ask. So I ask him, are you ready to become Muslim right now? The person says no. My next question, I have to find the obstacle. What's the problem? Okay, what is it that's stopping you from becoming a Muslim right now? Because you already agreed with the basics of the religion, and you have in you the ingredients of a Muslim to become a Muslim. So why would you delay that? What's stopping you? And then they'll tell you. Sometimes, oh, it's my fiance. Or some people would say, oh, I can't give up alcohol, or I can't give up, pork. We've heard that so many times. My fiance won't like it. My mother won't appreciate it. Give a solution, and what happens? So a solution, for example, you know what? You can do it and keep it a secret. Because eventually you need your mother to become Muslim as well. So at some point you have to let her know. We can talk to her. Whatever the solution. Then when you're done with that, you fixed it, you solved it, what's the next step? Ask for the Shahadah again. So you ask for the Shahadah, there was an obstacle, you fixed it, then you're asking for the Shahadah again. There could be another obstacle. Fix them all, and in the end, one more time, I'm asking you to become Muslim. And that is the golden rule. And you will see the difference, inshallah azza wa jal, in your da'wah work and your da'wah efforts when knowing this rule, and your activity and your actions before knowing this rule. So, but all you have to do again, try it out, inshallah. Sallallahu wa barak ala Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.